Have you ever felt like something was watching you, even when you knew you were completely alone? Have you ever heard the beating of wings in the dead of night? For over 50 years, a mysterious creature has stirred fear and questions. A being with glowing red eyes, massive wings, and a singular purpose: to warn of disaster. Many believed it was just a legend from the past. But now, in 2025, the sightings have returned. Chicago, Virginia, Kentucky, and maybe, next time, it could be near you. This is the story of the Mothman. But be warned, once you know its name, you just might start seeing it too. Before we dive into this chilling journey, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below if you've ever seen something you couldn't explain. Your experience might be more common than you think. West Virginia, November 1966. A cold fog clung to the trees, enveloping the abandoned grounds of the TNT area. Daniel and Sarah Whitaker, with their friends Mark and Emily Collins, had driven there that evening looking for something different. Their headlights pierced through the mist, revealing decaying World War II bunkers and casting long shadows. The air smelled of mold and rust, then movement. Sarah caught sight of a figure along the roadside. It stood over 6 feet tall, vaguely human, but with wings folded along its back and 2 glowing red eyes that seemed to burn through the darkness. Daniel hit the gas, but the thing didn't stay on the ground. It rose, silently, effortlessly, and kept pace above the car. No flapping wings, no sound, just presence. Watching, studying. For nearly a mile, the creature floated beside them until it vanished when they escaped the fog. At the nearest gas station, the 4 trembled as they recounted what had happened. Police dismissed it, just fear or imagination, they said. But Daniel, Sarah, Mark, and Emily knew better. Sarah would later describe the creature not as human, nor animal. It was something else, something alien. And she warned, no one should ever have to face it. That night was not the end, it was the beginning. A shadow in the fog that seemed to whisper of things to come. Not just a monster, but an omen. In the days after the TNT area encounter, Point Pleasant was buzzing with whispers. What began as a strange event soon unraveled into a wave of eerie reports. Factory workers claimed they saw a winged figure above a warehouse. A mother and her son spotted glowing red eyes in the trees. An off-duty officer described a dark presence by the Ohio River. The creature gained a name in the press, Mothman. But the sightings were just the beginning. Families heard static and metallic screeches on their radios. Lights flickered, TVs turned off by themselves. Some felt watched inside their own homes, though they were alone. Fear spread. Doors were locked in daylight. Children drew winged shadows in their notebooks and dreamt of a silent figure flying overhead. Skeptics blamed owls or pranks, but the stories kept coming. Authorities couldn't calm the town. People weren't just scared of the creature anymore. They feared what it meant. To some, Mothman wasn't a threat, it was a warning. A dark sign no one could ignore. Point Pleasant wasn't telling ghost stories. It was slipping into a deeper mystery. And the worst had yet to come. December 15, 1967, was cold but festive in Point Pleasant. Shoppers filled the streets, and the Silver Bridge bustled with traffic, connecting the town to Ohio. No one suspected that within minutes, everything would change. At 5:04 p.m., the bridge collapsed. Steel snapped, vehicles plunged into the freezing river, and in under a minute, 46 lives were lost. Many of the cars were never recovered. Investigators blamed a corroded suspension, bar an old flaw no one had seen. But townspeople whispered something else. Several claimed they'd seen a winged figure on the bridge that very day. Others said the Mothman had been hovering near the structure for a week, silent, watching. The sightings, the static, the fear, it all seemed to converge in that moment. To many, the collapse wasn't just an accident. It was a prophecy fulfilled. And then, the creature vanished. No more red eyes in the woods, no more shadows overhead. Had it caused the disaster, or tried to warn them? The Mothman faded into legend, into books and radio shows. But one question lingered. What had it truly come to say? After the Silver Bridge collapse and the Mothman's sudden disappearance, Point Pleasant was left in a strange, uneasy silence. But that silence only bred questions and theories. In the years that followed, journalists and paranormal investigators searched for meaning. Some proposed the creature was a cryptid, like Bigfoot, a biological anomaly, possibly mutated by military experiments in the TNT area. Yet that didn't explain its vanishing acts or the strange electronic disturbances. Others turned to the skies. Sightings of UFOs and reports of the infamous Men in Black coincided with Mothman encounters. Was it alien? A scout or a warning from another world? Then came darker possibilities. Some theorized the Mothman was interdimensional, drawn to places where reality thinned, appearing before disaster like a cursed sentinel. Not a demon, not a savior, just a powerless observer, forever tied to catastrophe. Another theory suggested it was feeding, consuming fear and sorrow. Not to destroy, but to absorb the human emotions radiating from tragic events. A predator of pain, not flesh. Despite the theories, the creature remained absent. But its legend grew. The Mothman had become more than a mystery. It was a symbol of things we fear, of omens we ignore. And maybe, in the quiet, it was only waiting for the world to tremble again. For decades after the Silver Bridge tragedy, the Mothman vanished. No sightings, no warnings, just silence. Point Pleasant moved on. The shadow seemed gone. But shadows don't disappear, they wait. In 2017, the silence broke, this time in Chicago. Reports trickled in, then surged. A tall winged figure with glowing red eyes seen gliding between skyscrapers. A night nurse saw it above her hospital. A security guard watched it from a rooftop. A taxi driver claimed it swooped silently between buildings. These weren't vague legends, they were present, urgent, and numerous. Over 30 sightings flooded in within months. Authorities dismissed it as mistaken identity, a bird, a drone. But those who saw it spoke of more. Electronics failing, a paralyzing dread, and haunting dreams of falling, of collapse, of void. Then, just days after the final report, a walkway at O'Hare Airport collapsed. No one died. But those who remembered the Silver Bridge felt a chill. It was too familiar. Had the Mothman returned? Or had it never left, just moved? Some said it followed fault lines or energy trails tied to disaster. Others whispered that we had drawn its gaze again. And that something was coming. Because what scared people most wasn't seeing the Mothman. It was what always seemed to come next. The winter of 2024 to 2025 marked a strange shift. After years of silence, the Mothman returned, but different. Quieter, more technological, more unsettling. It began with a video. A driver in Kentucky caught a winged figure on dashcam, low flying, black, silent, its glowing red eyes flashing briefly in the headlights. The clip went viral. Experts found no signs of editing. Then, in North Carolina, a family recorded a chilling scream from the woods near their home. A podcaster analyzed the sound. Within it were frequencies outside human hearing and unknown to any terrestrial creature. Next, a fisherman at Claytor Lake Dam in Virginia saw the Mothman watching him from the opposite shore. Motionless, silent. Afterward, the lake's water dropped nearly 70 centimeters within hours. Authorities evacuated homes. No natural cause was found. These weren't just sightings, they were disturbances. Each encounter left behind measurable changes. The Mothman wasn't just warning anymore, it was acting. Speculation grew. Was it communicating? Was it observing critical points, ecological, technological, or social? Podcasts and forums exploded with theories. Physicists, folklorists, and mystery seekers agreed. The creature had evolved. It had never truly disappeared, it had only adapted. And now, in 2025, it was back. As sightings surged in 2025, a small group of independent researchers began noticing strange patterns. Leading the effort was Dr. Caleb Nunn, a former statistics professor turned paranormal analyst. His interactive map shocked many. Every documented Mothman sighting since 1966 occurred within 72 hours of an anomalous event: collapsing bridges, blackouts, animal disappearances, or bizarre accidents. These weren't coincidences. They formed a hidden web across decades. Even more disturbing were the witness reports. Many described temporary psychological effects: insomnia, anxiety, the feeling of being watched. Some had vivid dreams, visions of destruction, collapsing structures, and faceless entities. Others claimed they heard whispers, metallic voices, or saw flashes of future disasters in their sleep. Authorities dismissed it all as mass hysteria. But the reports didn't stop. Then Dr. Nunn proposed a radical theory. The Mothman is not a creature, it's a space-time fracture. A symptom of reality under pressure. We don't see it unless something is breaking. According to him, the Mothman wasn't warning of disaster. It was the warning like a fever before the collapse. From this, darker theories emerged. Some believed it was a guardian from another dimension. Others thought it might be an artificial intelligence, surfacing only at key tipping points in history. All wild ideas, yet the data suggested something was out there. Watching, waiting, and the most chilling thought was this: what if the Mothman never truly left? What if it's only now beginning to manifest? As 2025 unfolded, the reports increased and became harder to ignore. Short clips, blurry photos, distorted audio, all began circulating on platforms like TikTok, Reddit, YouTube. But then they vanished flagged, deleted, or removed by users who later admitted they were too afraid to keep them online. But this wasn't simple fear, it was something deeper. Something that lingered. Tennessee, February. A teenage TikToker films a shadowy, winged figure atop her shed. Glowing red eyes. 8 seconds of footage, then nothing. Days of silence. She returns with one message: don't look it in the eyes, just don't. Colorado, April. Twin climbers near Estes Park spot something perched silently on a cliff. For 6 minutes, their GPS fails. One GoPro freezes. The other records faint wing beats, unidentifiable. Ohio, May. An elderly veteran hears a crash on his roof. Security cameras go offline for 30 minutes. The next night, his stove explodes. He whispers to his daughter, "It was here. It didn't want me to look, but I did." The accounts multiplied, deleted videos, offline profiles, users vanishing after posting too much. One Reddit user noticed a disturbing trend. Wherever Mothman footage surfaced, digital anomalies followed. Glitches, crashes, corrupted memory. A new term spread: digital parasitism. Some claimed the creature was feeding on us not physically, but through our devices. Our fear, our clicks, our fascination made it stronger, made it real. The more we searched, the closer it came. It wasn't hiding anymore, it was preparing. And maybe, just maybe, this wasn't a warning at all. It was the beginning. As sightings escalated, a deeper question emerged. What is the Mothman really? It had gone beyond folklore. Now it was a presence that defied reason, biology, even time. Researchers, theorists, and believers divided into camps, each offering a disturbing possibility. No one agrees if it's here to help us, or to harvest what's left. But one thing is clear: the Mothman has returned. And this time, it's not leaving. If this story fascinated or made you think, leave us a like to support the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe the Mothman is a messenger, a guardian, or something far darker? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you won't miss the next mysteries we'll uncover together. Thanks for watching. And remember, sometimes the most unsettling shadow is the one we can't explain.